Hi, Roman.
Hi, Daniela.
Greetings to you all.
We've gathered here today at this very moment to thoughtfully discuss how to effectively and in a modern way buy gold, not only as a reliable store of wealth, but also as an efficient and practical tool for making payments.
We can certainly agree that nowadays it's especially important to take care of ourselves psychologically, mentally, and physically, but also to keep our resources safe.
And that's why it probably matters where and how we buy our gold or silver.
That's why Ibis InGold has earned my trust over several years. They've been around since 1998, which is quite a long time. And I really like that it's Czech, that it's from the Czech Republic. Plus, it operates all across Europe.
Yes, it operates in 21 European countries through its Gold consulting division and their certified specialists.
I'm very satisfied, and that's precisely because I know with complete confidence that the gold and silver that Ibis InGold provides for us actually comes directly from the renowned Swiss PAMP refinery, as well as from the prestigious Royal Mint. Would you like to add anything to that or share your own thoughts?
Well, I just say that the Swiss precious metals refinery PAMP is at the top of its field, an absolute leader in security, in the security technology of its bars, using their patented Veriscan technology. And that's very important because PAMP has only 31 partners worldwide and only 11 partner companies in Europe that are directly licensed for online retail and wholesale sales. And we are one of them as the company Ibis InGold. So this is great. And the other one mentioned was the Royal Mint. The British Royal Mint is the oldest operating mint in the world. It's been in operation for over 1100 years and produces the most secure coins protected by relief minting, and it has only 21 such certified partners worldwide. And we are the only one in Europe that has both of these brands, can represent them in those 21 markets, and that's phenomenal, I think.
I often find that people ask where to put their money, what they should do with it, because many of my acquaintances and people around me invest in real estate, various bonds and stocks, and even cryptocurrencies. But I'll admit that for me, it's very much linked to gold because I feel safe through gold, and that's why I recommend it. What's yet to come and what we'll tell you about, I recommend to my loved ones, clients, and best friends, because I feel safe this way myself. Could you clarify for us again what diversification is and how it actually works with gold? Because even in the past, gold was money, and today, gold is still money. Money doesn't reflect the amount of gold in the world. So please elaborate on that a bit.
I'll go back to the beginning, to what you listed, like those investment instruments such as bonds, funds, stocks, cryptocurrencies, and so on, and then real estate. That's actually the typical picture of the financial advisory and educational world, that this is diversification and this is the world where value is stored. But it's only half the story. Unfortunately, as is often the case, almost like in fairy tales, the essential part is hidden from us. Because every secure portfolio of every person who has the right information consists of three parts. And we've been talking about those two parts so far. That means, well, real estate is brick, it's physical property, it's a certain level of security and stability, but it also has its challenges like real estate taxes. You have to take care of it. Repairs, maintenance, the price can drop, but it can also rise sharply. We all know that in times of inflation. And then there's the second part we mentioned, where a person is in the role of a creditor. That means they hand over their economic energy, the fiat currency, the money, in exchange for a stock or a bond, believing as a creditor that the bank or the investment company will one day return their money along with some earnings or interest. But there's a certain risk there because not everything always turns out well. Well, and then there's the third part, which you also touched upon. That's exactly gold or silver. And that's the pillar where gold acts as the balancer of economic cycles. That means when investment instruments crash and real estate prices fall, gold grows tremendously and the energy essentially shifts into gold. So gold belongs in every portfolio.
You've set me up perfectly. It also often happens to me that people say, gold's time is up. It was worth buying gold before, but now it's no longer worth it. Or that gold will drop again and its price is falling. But at the same time, we know very well that for a certain amount of gold, it was possible to buy something back then, and over the years, it's still possible. It's that example with the car where I don't know for how many kilos of gold.
Yes, for half a kilogram of gold at any time, you can get the latest car model that comes onto the market. So it's a store of value across this modern world, but also the ancient one, because even in ancient Greece, you could buy a citizen's suit, a belt, custom-made shoes for 1 ounce and still have something left over. So today, it would certainly be in some high-end salon, and maybe you'd get 2 of those suits.
My kilograms would be like a Rolls Royce nowadays, but in any case, the value is preserved. So could you explain further how to, I don't want to say refute, because we're not refuting anything here. I love Ibis InGold products, but I usually don't even know what to say when someone says that gold is no longer relevant.
And I would always ask who said that or who told those people that. And it's exactly that narrative of the banking sector, which itself hoards huge volumes of gold and sells us its financial products. Yeah, various financial derivatives and these risky things. So I think it's just a bit of misinformation towards the end customers.
Great, I really like what you're saying. I'd like to go back to the fact that we were talking about how gold at Ibis InGold also includes silver from Royal Mint and PAMP.
Mm-hmm.
And people also often might, or not often, but they either ask or sometimes they encounter the idea that gold is fake, that it's not pure, that it's not secured, or someone asks if the gold we're talking about, and we'll provide all the info in a moment if it's real, where it actually is or how it works, if it's traceable. And you mentioned that only Ibis InGold is unique in having 2 exceptionally strong partners, such as PAMP and the Royal Mint, both of which are highly respected in the industry. And it achieved this distinction precisely because it fulfills all the necessary and demanding criteria required to be able to work with these prestigious partners. For instance, one important factor is that it does not engage in trading with various crises.
Risky instruments.
Exactly. And it has only gold and silver in its portfolio. So could you please also say how, for example, the vaults that Ibis InGold has are controlled because it's all in the Czech Republic, it's secured, but we also know that everything matches to the gram. So who controls it or how does it work? What are the verification procedures there?
Thank you. It's clear that you perceive those concerns and crises of potential or existing clients because a large number of gold counterfeits have appeared on the market. The more expensive gold gets, the smaller and smaller bars are being counterfeited. So here there's actually multiple layers of protection. The point is that obtaining certification, for example, from the PAMP refinery, to be specific, was a multi-year, very strict and costly process. And one of those things included that the company would not do business in any other field, right? That means even if the company makes money, it can't become a developer and start building apartments or invest in Bitcoin or anything like that. We have to stick only to gold and silver and follow all those strict criteria for handling clients' assets. At the same time, we must use non-banking vaults of category 10, and the 10th class, according to ISA, is the category of central banks. That means they are robotic vaults that are not breakable, they are safe, they are protected. Well, and then there are audits. All that gold is audited 3 times a year, once by a classic auditor because it's the client's property. If they have that gold on their gold accounts, and we'll get to that, or bars stored in our vaults, then there's a classic auditor. Then there's an audit from the insurance company that insured the gold for 100% of its value, which they wouldn't do if they hadn't seen it and if it wasn't safely stored. And the third audit, I wouldn't say it's the most important as each has its own weight, is from the PAMP refinery, which checks all its partners once a year to see if everything matches to the gram and all processes are followed without any error.
Excellent. I'll ask one more sci-fi crisis question, because even when people hear this, they still ask, and what would happen if the company went bankrupt? Which isn't logically possible because the gold is all there and we all have it and all these checks are in place. But even so, what if this impossible scenario actually happened?
Yes. No, that's a legitimate question again. Lots of impossible things have happened. Here we're actually talking about the fact that the company has been on the market for almost 30 years. Today it manages some 120,000 clients and the assets are in the billions. There are these strict controls and we really aren't allowed to do business in any other field than handling these 2 metals, gold and silver. And every operation the company performs is profitable. Yeah, from the principle that the gold is actually first holder. This hasn't been mentioned yet. First holder means that it's directly from production from that refinery, and the client receives it first and is the first holder. With it, they also get a gold certificate of first holdership. There are even foils on those bars that they can peel off. Just like when you're unboxing a new car at a dealership, sometimes there can still be foils on it. They usually take it off for you, but here you can take it off yourself. It's not like you went to a used car lot and bought a car after the third driver. Yeah, as it usually is on the market with bars and coins.
Here on the table we have, so there will definitely be a shot with that first holder certificate, and also the bars that when we have gold sent home. We'll talk about all those products later. So I really like how it's all packaged. There's that foil. At first I didn't know that there's foil, and I thought this is some kind of mistake. Then you told me you're supposed to peel off the foil, and at the same time there's always that first holder card. I also like that the company clearly defines in all contracts that they will buy back if we wanted to sell our gold back, which is also very important, that they guarantee that they will buy the gold back, which again isn't the case with all companies. There are many gold companies on the market that sell gold, silver, and claim they will buy the gold back. But I had an experience years ago that when I went there, they told me they would pay me in installments and that they didn't actually have cash right away. And that really scared me. I'd also like to say that the company Ibis InGold doesn't buy back except for PAMP and Royal Mint, where we purchased it from them. So they don't buy back from any other companies or suppliers, which again is a form of security.
Yes.
And so it's important to know that where I bought the gold from, or if I already have some physical gold or silver, that I also have a place to sell it.
Yes, it's very important. Thank you. Another great point that needs to be mentioned, because there are dozens, hundreds, thousands of gold dealers. If we include jewelers with jewelry, but that's not investment gold, then there are many of them, and they actually work with that currency, with those circulating bars, and they have the option of buyback in the general terms and conditions. But general terms and conditions can be changed unilaterally, and then nothing can be done about it. And it's understandable because they don't have that kind of liquidity. If people walked in there in one day with gold worth several million, and that's not difficult today, it's not even kilos, it's 100-gram volumes, then they have no way to actually take that cash and send it to those accounts by the next day. A completely different case is precisely with the company Ibis InGold, which has the entire chain contractually secured like this. That means it guarantees buyback already in the purchase agreement, which is the strongest commitment. That legally binds you to always honor it. Well, and those bars go immediately to the refinery where they are melted down again and another first holder bar is created. But at the same time, the cash flow also flows. That means purely hypothetically, if all clients came to sell all their gold and silver in the order of billions of crowns, it would be settled.
I would now like to move on to the products. We know from other gold, I call them gold companies, but gold companies or even dealers, that they have a one-time purchase. So we can buy gold coins or ounces. We also have the silver option there, so that's the same with us. And then we can know through companies that we can save in gold and silver. So even with Ibis InGold, there's this standardized thing that we can buy gold and silver, have it delivered home, and then there's the option that we can save in gold and silver. Where I like it again, and this isn't the case for everyone, is that if I save in gold and silver with Ibis InGold, I have free storage.
Yes, because the thing is that those safes of this 10th class robotized, it's not cheap, it's a costly thing. And normally if an ordinary citizen in such a safe, for example, Safe 24 in Prague on Koruni Street, one of the safest, most famous in Europe, they would pay in the order of hundreds of crowns or thousands depending on the volume of gold monthly. Now consider that you want to keep the gold there for several years, then it goes into tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands for that storage. With us, actually, at the Ibis company, clients can have the option to choose free storage. That means saying, I want it in those safes where it's 100% insured, where it's safe, where I don't pay for that storage. So this is a fantastic part of the service that other companies, again, can't do.
Of course, it's true that if you ever wanted your gold sent back home, then of course that can be arranged. With a one-time purchase, it's automatic that the gold or silver you buy is delivered right to your home. And then there's also the option of saving or investing in gold and silver. There's an option to store your gold and silver for free. But for me, my greatest love, what I really adore, are products that other companies don't offer.
Yes, we call those the modern products. The others were the traditional ones, meaning a one-time purchase of bars and coins or saving towards a specific weight of a bar or coin. But now we're getting to those modern products that you like so much.
Yes, I'll admit that honestly, before I even had my very first gold bar like this, not counting that rather unpleasant situation long ago where I really didn't know how to sell it back to another company, before I finally got my gold bar from Ibis InGold, I actually opened a gold account first. The company offers 3 options. They have what I call 3 gold accounts, one for companies, one for retirees, or even for children, and the third is iiPlan Gold. They're called iiPlan Max, iiPlan Rentier, and iiPlan Gold. And iiPlan Gold is the one I started with, my absolute favorite. I'll describe it more in a moment, but because I fell in love with it, I took advantage of its features and returned to my love for physical gold, starting to take delivery of some gold bars and silver too. And I'd like to describe that account because it's the absolute foundation. It's called iiPlan Gold, and it's backed by a 1 kilogram gold bar.
Yes.
We can use it very flexibly, and that's what caught my interest because I travel a lot. I don't want to be tied down. I have an online business. So for me, if I need money tomorrow for a new car or if I want to move to Bali, I know I have funds in that account. So we can send any amount to that account from just pennies to, well, infinity. And with that money, grams of gold are purchased for me. So I have grams of gold in that account. The value of that account, the money that's effectively in there, grows according to the value of gold at that moment. So based on how many grams I have, that's what the total amount is. But I like the fact that I have that amount there. At the same time, I can talk with Roman here, who also has an account, my family, my friends, my clients. We all have gold accounts, so we're always saying, hey, thanks for dinner. But where should I send the money? Should I send it to your gold account or somewhere else? And send it to my gold account, or I need to pay you for this or that. So we constantly prefer, or rather we enjoy paying each other in gold. And another option is that, of course, I might need cash. So if I need to, as I said, move somewhere or buy a new car, with one click, the next day it's in my bank or in...
Yes.
It's in all European banks. I'd like to mention that all these accounts, including the one-time purchase, are connected to all of Europe.
21 European countries.
Right.
Most few exceptions.
So let's get back to the gold account. If I want, I can just click, I need this much money, and that can be advantageous for people who don't want, say, a gram of gold, which is 4,000 something right now. It can change. So they don't want 4,000, they might want just 500 or just 1,000. Or someone might want a specific amount and doesn't want to sell their physical gold. So I basically sell it off by clicking through the internet or through...
The interface, yes.
Exactly, the interface.
Of the digital account.
So I just click how much money I need in my account tomorrow. I have it. It can be in my account. It can be in my mom's account, my sister's, my friends, anyone's. Or my aunt's, who is in Italy, and the money will show up there by the next day. And also those gold bars and silver, I didn't get them by making a one-time purchase, even though I could have. Of course, that option is there, but I really like that I send money to the gold account. And when I'm in the mood, when I feel like it, I click a button and choose from 1 gram to a kilogram of gold or silver in the eShop, and I call it withdraw it. I can have it sent home, which is within 48
hours, roughly 48 to 72 hours, yeah.
By courier. And my absolute favorite thing, I'll let you speak in a moment. I'm talking a lot, but I love this account. Is when I can use that account to pay in a restaurant or for services, because there's an app linked to it, to those accounts. So I can check the account on my phone and immediately click to see merchants who have a business. Roman will talk about it in a bit. A company can have this iiPlan Max account and you can pay with gold there. So I find a merchant through the app. Now here's something funny. I need a plumber. So I say, I'll see who's closest to me. I checked the app and found out there's a plumber on the street where I live, so he can look forward to it. Greetings, when I send him a message and tell him I'll be paying him in gold for his services.
Well, that's fantastic.
Tell us about Max.
How enthusiastic you are about the iiPlan Gold. It's our most popular account, the gold account, because through these accounts, gold ownership has been democratized in the sense that everyone whether it's a kindergarten teacher, a clerk, or an entrepreneur, everyone buys at the price of large investors, meaning the lowest price per gram in Europe. And it's actually compatible with the grams on those business accounts as well. That's why it's so easy to pay with. This means that as ordinary citizens, we buy up to 35% more gold than if we went to buy those smaller bars, and at the same time, we can pay with it. That means in the app, and now we're getting to the corporate accounts. Corporate accounts, they're called iiPlan Max, and they're part of our payment system, InGold PAY. Well, and companies have it backed by 400-ounce bars. That's the kind of brick you know from action movies, those 12 kilos, 441 grams. So they also have very favorable terms and accept payments from clients. No bank fees like for card payments and the like. On the contrary, they actually get a bonus there. And another bonus is that we pay each other within the community. Those corporate accounts, of course, have accounting and tax legislation and requirements, so it's part of those companies' accounting. And besides the fact that it can be a dentist, a restaurant, a hotel, a car repair shop, yeah, I'm literally naming a plumber now. All those services and fields that we can imagine, those corporate accounts are the newest. They've only been on the market for 2 years. The private accounts for over 7 years, so we have about 120,000 customers who like to look for these corporate accounts, and we're approaching 2,000 of those corporate accounts today, but there are maybe about 1,000 in the catalog because not all companies want to accept payments from the public, as they can also be industrial enterprises, right? And it's interesting for them too.
Because instead of just having millions or even billions of dollars sitting in their account, they can actually store that wealth in gold and have it safely saved this way as well.
Yes, because that gold is not in banks, of course. When I was talking about the company's security, one of the conditions of that Swiss security is not to store it in bank safes. They aren't as safe, they're managed by the bank. That's not the point. You need to have gold under control, and at the same time, the company doesn't even take any bank loans or anything like that. So entrepreneurs also appreciate this, that they diversify their corporate assets in this way too. And I think that's fantastic.
I'd also like to talk about the third account, which is called iiPlan Rentier, because we talked about gold. That was my big love. Then we talked about Max, and I'd also like to say that it was really nice when I went to a restaurant and paid here in a Brno restaurant using gold. And even the one I was paying said, "That's amazing, that's amazing. I have an account too. I really like it." It's nice because suddenly I have that flexibility. I have a lot of money in gold, actually, or I have a lot of money in a bank account. No, I keep some of those like important things in the account, but I can pay through gold. And now one more thing, because of course I'm over 18, I'm an adult, so I have my account. But at the same time, there's also the possibility that we have children, or maybe besides having this flexible gold account, we want to save for old age. So in addition to my account, which I use so actively, I'd ideally like to have an account through which I can check on it. It works just like the gold plan I was talking about. So that's the Rentier. Could you describe it a bit as if?
Yes, every account actually has a different purpose. It's designed differently because there are clients who have multiple accounts. If they're in business, they'll have a business account. I definitely want gold so I can pay and manage my gold effectively like this. But if I plan to become a rentier someday, say in 10 years, I'll also open a rentier plan and save there. And then I pay myself that annuity from it. And in the background, it's physical gold that appreciates in value.
Or for the children?
Absolutely. It's very popular for children because I don't want to name any specific financial market products here. But when we consider that in the last 6 years alone, inflation has averaged over 6% annually, you can save like crazy in some savings account, and the child will then buy a transit pass with it when they go to university. Whereas here, actually, the power of gold, which beats it in the long run, just on that 25-year horizon, gold averages 11.8% annually. So that's double the rate of inflation. So I think that's the right way to go. That means you save for the children, and then when it's high school, university, you can actually pay their tuition on a monthly basis from that, or it can be withdrawn as a lump sum to travel around the world if it comes to that.
I'd also like to mention that we're talking here about the company Ibis InGold, about these products, and I didn't fall in love with them yesterday. You know, it's been several years. And I'm only talking about it now because whenever I talk about something, I want to be a role model and be the one who uses it, who believes in it, who has proof, and who has verified in great detail that it's safe. So that's why I'm talking about it, because I'd actually like to share it with other people as well.
Basically, at Fair Gold, that's exactly what we do, you know. That's the service and the offering. So you surely want to add something more to that.
In any case, if you're interested in anything, if you'd like to open one of those accounts or even need help with how to buy gold or silver directly from Ibis, I'd be very happy to take care of it. I'd be happy to look after you, or I'll just provide information so you can make a better decision.
Great, Daniela, thank you. I believe it was beneficial and that we'll talk again sometime about the functions of gold and other things.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it, Roman.
Me too.
Have a wonderful time.
Goodbye.